course, if you've never heard of Liquid Marketplace or are wondering why Googling it just spits up an Instagram page that hasn't posted in 2 years, it's because it was a scam. Time and time again, Logan seems to be attached to these things, enough to where he gets paid, but not enough to where he's ever held accountable for directing his tens of millions of fans to these shady ventures.
You know that feeling when the same person keeps pulling the same hustle again and again, and you're just sitting there thinking, when are people finally going to catch on? Well, it finally happened, because Logan Paul just got exposed in what might be his boldest money grab yet. And honestly, if people are still throwing cash at him after this, that's on them, because this mess is so wildly sketchy, it makes Crypto Zoo look almost organized by comparison. We're talking about fractional ownership schemes with millions unaccounted for. And then there's the Pokémon card that somehow went from being owned by thousands of regular people to mysteriously landing right back in Logan Paul's possession just before a multi-million-dollar auction. Perfect timing, right? So the big question is, how did Logan Paul sell his fans on this whole Pokémon card empire in the first place? The pitch was simple. Promised ownership, promised profits, then yanked everything away so fast, people are still trying to process what even happened. If this story sounds confusing, don't worry. Here's the quick breakdown. Back in 2022, Logan Paul jumped headfirst into his Pokémon card era, fresh off the NFT hype and right after the Crypto Zoo situation had already left a bad taste for a lot of people. He needed a fast pivot, something that looked clean and legit. And what sounds more trustworthy than real physical trading cards, right? So Logan starts dropping insane amounts of money on rare Pokémon cards, flashing them non-stop on social media, building this image like he's some hardcore serious collector. He wasn't just buying random cards either. He went straight for the crown jewel. He picked up what's known as the holy grail of Pokémon cards, a PSA 10 Pikachu Illustrator, reportedly for around $5.3 million. And no, that's not a typo. $5 million for a piece of cardboard with a yellow mouse on it. That's when Logan's business brain kicks into overdrive, because he's staring at this insanely valuable card thinking, how do I squeeze even more money out of this? How do I get fans to hand over cash while making it seem like I'm helping them out at the same time? That's exactly where Liquid Marketplace comes into play, a platform Logan helped launch that let everyday people buy fractional shares of high-end collectibles.
What's up, y'all? Logan here. As an avid collector and strategic investor myself, I am so stoked to announce the launch of Liquid Marketplace, a platform where collectors can buy and sell fractions of rare collectibles via tokens on the blockchain. As a co-founder of Liquid Marketplace, I believe we're set to level the playing field by allowing anyone to own a piece of the world's rarest collectibles and build their portfolios instantly.
The sales pitch was smooth and simple. Not everyone has millions sitting around to buy $1 million rare Pokémon card or a LeBron James rookie card, so this was sold as the next best thing. No problem, right? Just grab a fraction of it on Liquid Marketplace and boom, you own a piece of history. On paper, that actually sounds kind of fire. It's basically like buying fractional stock shares, but for collectibles. Regular people finally get access to investments they'd never be able to touch otherwise. Everybody wins. Except that's not how this played out at all. Not even remotely close. Logan went all out pushing this platform. He's dropping announcement videos, hyping it non-stop on social media, telling everyone this thing is about to change the game forever. And the crown jewel of the whole platform? His own PSA 10 Pikachu Illustrator card. The same card he paid over $5 million for.
Also be listing it for $5 million instead of the $5.3 million I bought it for. So basically, I'll be giving you guys $300,000 discounts because everyone likes discount.
He listed it on Liquid Marketplace with a $5 million valuation and quietly kept 49% ownership for himself. The remaining 51% got sliced up and sold to the public through fractional shares. And according to Liquid Marketplace, it completely sold out. That pulled in roughly $2.5 million from investors who believed they were getting real, legitimate ownership in what was being called the most expensive Pokémon card in the world. Logan dropped video after video promising this was true co-ownership. He leaned hard into the community ownership angle, talking about giving everyday people access to elite collectibles like he was doing everyone a favor. But here's the pattern with Logan Paul. Every single time one of these projects launches, there's always some fine print lurking in the background that somehow works out real nice for him once things start going sideways. And surprise, things went sideways again. Fast forward to 2024, and Liquid Marketplace is basically a ghost town. The website doesn't even load. The social media pages have been dead for over 2 years, and people who bought fractional shares can't access their money or their so-called investments. It's almost like the entire platform just evaporated overnight, taking everyone's cash with it. Then, out of nowhere, Logan Paul pops up on a Netflix show called King of Collectibles, casually selling his PSA 10 Pikachu Illustrator card. Yeah, that same card that thousands of people were told they co-owned. The same card where 51% was supposedly locked away in a vault and required a community vote before it could ever be sold. That card. And Logan is selling it like he owns 100% of it, because apparently now he does. So, of course, people start asking the obvious questions. What happened to everyone who bought fractional ownership? Where's their share of the sale? How does Logan even have the power to sell this card when he only owned 49% on paper? And Logan, being Logan, jumps in with a statement trying to explain the situation away. And this is where the explanation goes completely off the rails. Logan claims that back in May 2024, he quietly bought the card back from Liquid Marketplace. According to him, he paid what he called a substantial buyout amount to the platform, money that was supposed to be distributed to all the fractional owners based on their shares. He says he was told everyone got paid, end of story, case closed. Except that's not what happened at all. People who put money into this card have been trying to access their funds for a year and still can't. The platform is totally locked up, nobody can log in, and there's been zero updates about when or even if anyone will ever see their money again. No emails, no posts, nothing. But here's the part that really shocked people. We finally found out how much Logan paid to buy back the card. Get ready for this. $250,000. Yeah, that number is real. That's being called the buyout amount, and people were stunned. Now, let's break this down. Liquid Marketplace raised about $2.5 million selling fractional ownership of this card. Logan then buys it back for $250,000, which is roughly 10% of what was originally raised. And now he's turning around and auctioning the same card, with experts saying it could sell for several $million.
So the situation looks like this. Logan stands to make millions from a card that thousands of people believe they owned a piece of. Meanwhile, those same people are allegedly supposed to split $250,000 between them, assuming they ever get paid at all, which many say still hasn't happened. Do you realize how crazy this sounds? People poured $2.5 million into this card, and Logan managed to buy it back for a tiny fraction of that using a loophole buried in the terms and conditions, terms nobody paid attention to because they trusted him. And now he gets to walk away with all the auction profits while the investors are left empty-handed. This follows a very familiar pattern. This is the exact behavior people criticized during the Crypto Zoo situation, and now it's happening again under a different name. Same setup, same outcome. Launch the project, hype it up nonstop, pull in millions, then when things start falling apart, step back and act like none of it was your responsibility. And it doesn't stop there. Watch how fast the distancing happened. Logan used to proudly call himself a co-founder of Liquid Marketplace right in his social media bio. That was his badge of honor. Now, it's completely wiped. No mention, no credit, nothing at all. Just erased like the project never existed in the first place. This is the same play he ran with Crypto Zoo, almost line for line. When the project was launching and everything looked shiny, Logan was front and center, smiling, promoting, taking full credit. But the second things started cracking, suddenly he's too busy with WWE, can't answer questions, and claims he had no idea people couldn't withdraw their money. That excuse doesn't hold up, because users have been complaining about locked funds since the platform first went live. There are Discord screenshots from years ago showing people straight up begging for help. They're asking when they'll get paid, asking why withdrawals aren't working, and all they get are vague, copy-paste style replies from the team. This wasn't some new surprise issue. This was ongoing, public, and loud, and it's something Logan chose to ignore. And then it gets even uglier. The Ontario Securities Commission filed a lawsuit against Liquid Marketplace, alleging serious multi-layered fraud. According to the claims, the founders misused around $3 million of investor money, allegedly routing it through shell companies to fund personal spending. We're talking designer clothes, luxury watches, expensive jewelry, spa services. The OSC also alleges that the entire concept of the platform itself was misleading from the start, not just mismanagement, but a system that was never what it was promised to be. And once you line all this up, the pattern becomes impossible to ignore. They're claiming the tokens people bought didn't actually represent legal ownership of anything at all, that the assets weren't properly authenticated, weren't properly insured, and that investors were misled right from the start. Now, to be fair, Logan Paul isn't personally named in that lawsuit, but let's be real here. He was a co-founder, he was the public face of the platform, and he was the one promoting it to millions of followers every single day. He's the one telling people this was legit. He's the one saying the team could be trusted. And now that same team is being accused of fraud, while Logan is acting like he was just some random bystander with nothing to do with it. That excuse isn't landing with a lot of people. At this point, the pattern is impossible to ignore. Logan Paul launches crypto or blockchain-style projects, promises big opportunities to his fans, pulls in their money, and when everything eventually collapses, he walks away rich while everyone else is left holding regret. And the most frustrating part? He might actually get away with it again. The auction is already moving forward. The card is set to sell in February, and Logan is positioned to walk off with millions. Meanwhile, the people who truly believe they owned a piece of that card are still waiting on a $250,000 payout that may never even arrive. And to top it all off, Logan now claims he's paying developers to unlock the website so people can finally withdraw their money. After all this time, that's the update. People are watching closely because after everything that's happened, trust is already completely burned. He's now claiming the whole thing will be fixed in 2 to 3 weeks, but come on, we've heard that exact promise before with Crypto Zoo, haven't we? At some point, the excuses stop working and the pattern starts screaming at you. And the pattern here is loud and clear. Logan Paul should not be trusted with anything involving crypto, blockchain projects, or fractional ownership schemes. Every single time he steps into one of these spaces, regular people lose money while he walks away richer. That's not bad luck, that's repetition. So here's the real question for anyone still defending him. At what point do you stop making excuses? At what point do you admit this isn't a misunderstanding or a one-time mistake, but a repeated behavior? Because this isn't just about Pokémon cards or digital assets anymore. This is about someone using massive influence to convince everyday people to put money into projects that conveniently benefit him while leaving everyone else holding the bag. That's not innovation. That's not entrepreneurship. That's straight-up exploitation, no matter how you try to dress it up. So yeah, Logan Paul got exposed again. And honestly, none of this is shocking anymore. The only surprising part is that people keep falling for it again and again. But now, I want to hear from you. Do you think this is a pattern people should stop ignoring? Or do you think he's just the unluckiest entrepreneur of all time? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Make sure to like the video if this breakdown helped you, share it with anyone who needs to see this, and don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives like this. I'll see you in the next one.